I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with
liberty and justice for all.
The notice requirements of the Open Public Meetings Act for this meeting have been met by transmitting the notice of the regular meeting to the Commissioner's official newspaper on February 4th, 2021, posting the notice where required and filing a copy of the notice with the Commission clerk. The Deal Lake Commission meeting will be audio and videotaped and will be shown on APTV, Optimum 77, and throughout most of Monmouth County on FiOS 30. Allenhurst, Asbury Park,
present.
Deal, Interlaken,
Present.
Loch Arbor,
She's here.
Neptune, Ocean.
Here.
Oh, there's Allenhurst.
Okay.
Allenhurst.
Not see.
Hi, Bruce. Unmute. Present. He's here. And
Present.
perfect. Thank
Present.
you.
Present.
Jesse, if you would amend the minutes that you just read about the notice, because you want to include the later notice about the earlier meeting and the
Oh,
publication.
okay.
Yes, the later notice of the earlier meeting.
That's it.
Okay. The minutes for the upcoming. Okay. Tonight we have resolution 21-41, a resolution to approve the minutes of the regular meeting of May 20th, 21. Someone please offer.
I'll offer.
Second.
Second.
And today,
Be it resolved that the minutes of the regular meeting of the Deal Lake Commission held on May 20th, 2021, being the same, are hereby approved.
No, you have to say all, aye,
getting this legislation passed.
aye, yes.
Asbury Park,
Yes.
Interlaken,
Yes.
Loch Arbor. Melanie,
Yes.
thank you.
Read it again to me.
Ocean,
Yes. Yep. Good.
Bruce, do you have the treasurer's report?
I do. Our total on deposit at the beginning of the month was $147,752.03. We had receipts in the total amount of $74.01. We had disbursements in the total amount of $4,999.87. We also had grant disbursements, the amount of $56.93.62, making our total disbursements $10,693.49. And the total on deposit at the end of the month was $137,132.55.
Someone offer to approve the treasurer's report and pay bills?
So move.
Second,
Second.
Allenhurst,
Yes.
Asbury Park,
Yes.
Interlaken,
Yes.
Loch Arbor,
Yes.
Ocean.
Yes.
Am I still?
Okay, Don.
Okay. Flume electrification is basically done. I think it's 99% done. The only thing we're waiting for is the final validation of cost. Is that correct, Pete?
Yep, and Jesse is coming to my office tomorrow. We're meeting, Dave and she and I are meeting to
Okay.
go over both the engineering invoices and the construction contract invoices, all of which should be reimbursable under the Army Corps or DEP grant that you and I worked on with them.
Right.
So we'll put the paperwork together. We've already submitted preliminary stuff to the two folks, Sarah Bates at DEP Coastal Engineering and Army Corps.
Jason Shea.
Jason Shea from Long Branch from Army Corps of Engineers. So they're aware of what we're doing.
Yeah, Jason Shea. I actually gave a personal tour with Jason. Gave him the whole 9
Oh,
yards.
wonderful. Oh, that's
Full
great.
demo.
They
The
should
gate
know.
going down, the electrification. Walked out in the flume, opened it up with my phone. So he was pretty impressed.
That leads me to the final thought. Perhaps when we're done, I mean, we have a pretty big operation and maintenance manual for this facility.
Right.
If we can get multiple copies of it, we should perhaps provide one to Jason for the Corps and provide one to Sarah
Okay.
for DEP Coastal Engineering, so they were both aware
Okay.
of how we operate the facility.
Two other things. I met with with not the electrician, but the camera guy the other
Yeah,
day. And we went over all the provisions. We're setting up special
Rick
pass
Manzo.
codes for Ken to get on so we can put videos online. And we also have 4 or 5 other pass codes that we can give out to the police that they can actually see. So it's going to be good. So as soon as we get that document from them, I'll be able to give it to the towns and the police departments and a couple other folks. So
Perfect.
it's
It's
all
like
good.
we just had our, it's like we just had our plan presentation at the commission and now we're done.
Yeah. And then, the paint job. I went there
Right.
today. I got a call from Mr. Harvey and I cleared out the building with the debris we had in there, not much. And they finished the painting. So the painting's all done.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Great project.
Yeah. Well, thanks to everybody. And I guess the goal is to repay Ocean within a couple weeks, right?
Well, as soon as the funding is received back from,
Okay.
I don't exactly know where the funding is right now, if it's with the Corps or the state. I was told that it was transferred from the Corps to the state. So
Okay.
it would literally be at Coastal Engineering. So we process the paperwork, get the sign off, and then the grant money can be reimbursed.
Okay. Thanks.
Yep.
319 grant update, Pete.
Before you move.
Oh, I'm sorry. Jeannie, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Just about, I just thought it might be a time for Ken to just mention something about where we're at. And not that he's gone very far with it, but he's shared some things with me about the webcam and the possibility of putting it on our website at some point. So
Absolutely. Yeah.
Ken, would you go ahead with, I know you haven't gone far with it, but let everybody know where you are.
Really? Spoke to Rick via email. Currently waiting on credentials.
Rick and I went over that the other day. So he's got the passcodes. He's going to relay that to Ken. So that should work. You'll have access to the cameras. Okay, let's move on. 319 update, Pete.
Why don't we start with the news for New Jersey?
Yeah, news for it. It was very good. A nice article. Look, I have to give Jack a pat on the back. He did a great job with the floating wetlands. I was a little hesitant about him at the beginning, but I'll tell you, it brought people together. It was a great bonding of the people that came. We had about 20 people the first day and about 15 yesterday, and everybody just dove right into it. And we got better. I mean, yesterday we blew it out and we shaved an hour off the time because we got smarter how we were doing it. And
Yeah,
we all learned.
Machine yesterday. Machine.
Right. Well, Jack, you want to take it from here?
It was amazing. Yeah. So like Don was saying, we had about 15 or so volunteers at Sunset Lake. We ended up putting in 5 of the big islands and 1 kind of a kidney bean shaped island. We organized them generally how we had initially sited them out towards the western end of the lake near the outlet deal. And I say generally because as my team got in to anchor them in, they were using the paddles on the boat to see the depth of the water in the places where I initially had determined it was at least 4 feet deep, was no longer 4 feet deep. So that just kind of goes to show the dynamics of a lake. You look at it and there's water and you figure out, it's kind of always the same. You have stuff coming in, you have stuff going out, but you also have the sediment. And so that shifted around a little bit and we relocated the islands. Again, they're still in a good spot though. And then yesterday we set out islands at Wesley Lake. We did 5 of the original size islands and 1 island that was from Sunset. So we have 6 in each lake now. They were planted. The volunteers did a great job. We both events were great in terms of outreach and education as well, because a lot of people were asking really good questions about what it does, how it works, what each of the different parts of the island is for. Yesterday too, we were able to kind of to talk a little bit about Wesley Lake itself because people were asking about the lights. And we at Sunset we saw the geese chasers, so that was able to a neat opportunity to tie in the things that they see on a daily basis with the new structures being installed. So it turned out really good. I was very happy with it. And Don, you did a great job and Jeannie, thank you so much for soliciting volunteers. I've never seen that level of volunteers in some of these the projects that we've done, and that was amazing. That was super helpful. We couldn't have done it in as little time as we did. In fact, in the initial estimate from my team was, oh, that's going to take us at least 3 days.
Mhm.
And I said, you know what? Let's try and make it in 2, and we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, let me show you. Ken just gave me screen sharing capability. Let me just show you the one. This is the action shots, right? This is the let's see. This is the Wesley Lake. That's the device is going in. And they just look how smooth that was. We even borrowed some barricades from the town. Look at that were piled up in the corner. So that's what it was. And that was on the news, by the way. They cut that into the news today, which is great. So anyway, that was that. And great results. We are getting comments, negative comments already. So from the public, the town manager has already got some complaints or more questions than complaints. So we're going to try to work it with the Wesley Lake Commission and let them handle that. Okay?
Yeah, again, another opportunity for education, tell them the benefits of having those in there. Would you rather see plants or green, crappy water?
Right. And I know Jeannie's going to work with Ken on getting that website updated. So it's a one button push to see what we're doing with the wetlands. So that'd be great too.
I'm just curious, what are the complaints?
They're eyesores.
Why aren't they in front of the beer garden? That was one question. There were more questions.
That's one that I would ask. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Have some people pay for some more.
Jack, did you have any students show up for that?
No, I don't think specifically from the
one student. There was one student from Interlake.
Yeah, but I don't think that was from a solicitation through school. I think his grandparents were there.
Uh-huh.
And then the one other girl, she was there with her mom. I did reach out, Steve, to that Mark Leeson.
Yeah.
That was actually his last day of school, so he wasn't able to make it.
Bill Dalton showed up, by the way, and he took a lot of pictures, and one was in the front page of the Coaster today. So that was a nice shuttle.
Nice.
Now, by the way, the Kelsey from Princeton Hydro was the marketing girl, and she got a press release out, and that's what brought News Center or Channel 4.
Channel 4.
Yeah, so that worked out really well. And by the way, I did invite him to our ribbon cutting for the treatment devices and also the flume. So I think Brian will be down for more since he's right down the street. And his cameraman lives in Belmar, so there's some Jersey connection here, right? So okay, let's keep moving. Any questions on the subject? Okay.
If not, I'm going to roll. But if you guys have any more questions for me regarding any of that stuff, please send me an email, send me a text, whatever floats your boat. I've got a lot of stuff going on tonight.
I do have a question, Jack. Is there anything else now from this point that you'll be needing volunteers for, or is it what's happens now?
So I think at some point we will need to plant the Asbury Park Rain Garden. Currently, that responsibility is in the hands of the Environmental Shade Tree Commission.
Right.
We've already done the regrading, and now they just need to replant it. And so I'm working with them to get that done. The current stumbling block with that is just understanding the budget they have for plants, which really I don't think that's going to be too much, but I'm going to speak with Peter and his team sometime next week to find out a little bit more about the Ocean Grove BMP and figure out because the floating islands are a different line item in the budget than the construction. So the plants for the rain garden are coming out of construction and not the same as the plants for the islands. So anyway, I'm going to work that out with him in the near future, and his team, and we're going to get the Shade Tree Commission their plants as soon as possible so that they can get them in the ground.
Okay.
Is there anything else that from here on that will be done with not the rain gardens, with the floating islands?
No, they're pretty self-sustaining. We just keep an eye on them, make sure that the fencing stays up so it keeps the geese and the turtles off. And then the plants look okay. If they don't, then we can reevaluate in the future. But for the most part, they should be self-sustaining.
Great, thank you, Jack.
They really when you put them in the water, they perked right up. I mean, we had them on the shoreline for an hour or so, and as soon as they hit the water, you could just see them come to life. It was really pretty amazing.
And Don, for the record, and not that it should take up too much time, but I did return, and they took all the plants back. We had extras, and they took them, so they're generating a new invoice. So that should help for the rain garden, the Asbury Park Rain Garden. Now that we wouldn't be able to use the same plants.
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah.
Excellent. Thanks, man. It was great effort. A lot of fun.
Thank you, Jack.
Thanks, everyone. I'll talk to you later.
Talk to you later.
Hi, Jack.
The 319 grant, the phase 1 NGIT, there's no update on that. They have been in the lake and they did take depth measurements, but that's it for now.
Let's update the MTDs quickly.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Okay. Matt Mariano of my office has been working with our contractor to try to reconcile the completion of the fabrication of the unit so we could schedule construction. So here's where we are. Since January, we've been working with the contractor on the layout and utility conflicts, primarily in Memorial Drive. The Grand Avenue locations are pretty well established. The roadway had numerous conflicts and complications. We tried moving the unit from the west side of the road to the east side along the New Jersey Transit right-of-way. And that would have required reconstructing the unit and also probably getting some kind of hold harmless from New Jersey Transit, which wasn't viable. So we determined to redo the unit in Memorial Drive at the location we proposed around Fifth Avenue. By the end of May, it was established and the MTD is currently being manufactured and will be ready in the next week or two. Yesterday, the contractor requested a time extension for construction. And the primary reason is safety concerns, equipment and material, and summer population increases. Memorial Drive is very difficult to work in for him to put the Memorial Drive unit in. What we're trying to do, and Don and I are trying to do, is to get the contractor to agree to put the 2 Grand Avenue units in and then hold off on the Memorial Drive unit until September. The reason he doesn't want to do that is he wants to bring all of them in at the same time, put them in with one crane, have the sheathing there, have all the equipment he needs for it there, so he minimizes his costs. So it'll take the next week or two for us to resolve that. But just know that at least part of the project is probably going to be held off till September for Memorial Drive, and we're going to work with him to see if we can do the Grand Avenue work sooner.
And the problem we ran into in September is it has to be after the 3rd week because that's a See Here Now concert. And there's no way we can dig up any road in Asbury before See Here Now. We can't hold up traffic at all. So that would have to be well
The Beach
after.
Boys are going to be there, so stay away from the Beach Boys.
That's right.
Okay,
Okay, thanks.
so
Sorry.
we'll continue updating, and it's progressive. So it's
And
positive.
Pete, we do have to, and I know Jack's gone, but we do have to get the RFP ready for the tree boxes and the other stuff.
Jack's going to do that, and
I know.
I'm working with him on the rain gardens in
Okay.
Ocean Grove.
Because next month, we probably should put an RFP out, I think,
Okay.
at least release it.
July, August, yes, we should.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. The grant phase one, the NJIT, nothing, no updates on that. The Ability Crest, no update. We will have an executive session. I'm not sure when. I think it's going to be next meeting, but I'm not sure when the next meeting is in July. So I still need to talk to the town. Hunt's talked to the lawyer of town, and I need to talk to the town also privately.
Isn't the next meeting July 15th? July 15th, the 3rd week in July.
Is that it?
Yeah,
Oh, we're good. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought it was a different day. Yeah,
July
that's fine.
15th.
July.
That's good.
So can we do executive session at what's?
It'll be after the public session. We close it off.
Did you want to go back to in person?
I don't know.
Interlake is opening.
How do we do? Can we do a Zoom and the show? I don't know. Ken, is that possible? In person and Zoom?
Possibly.
I think the July we leave is Zoom. I think. Maybe the executive session. I don't know. I'm just talking out loud right now. Do we do the executive session in person? I don't know.
We do at least put it on our calendar for 7:00 so everybody knows.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely the starting time for the meeting.
For the executive session will be at 8.
It'll be, about 8, sometime after 8.
Okay, so
Does anybody have any real strong feelings about having in person in July or not?
uh,
I don't know. I think people are still making vacation plans, so I don't know.
That's true. Yeah, that's true. I'll be away in August, but I'll be able to call in for the next August one. I think. Okay, let's keep moving.
do we have to advertise executive, Hunt? The executive session?
No.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Shoreline protection. The update on that we did get a letter back from DEP, at least from one person, and I haven't. I think Steve saw. Did you see it, Steve? Yet? You didn't see it? Okay. I just got it the other day and I haven't sent it to Steve. Not much going on there. And we did get some clarification. So I'll send it to Jeannie. And Jeannie, did I send it to you? You're muted. You're muted, Jeannie.
What are you referring to, Don? Sorry.
The letter from Tammy. Did you see that?
No,
I just got it yesterday.
Okay.
I'll send it to you and Steve.
Okay.
It's not anything earth shattering. She's basically saying they have very, a lot of the things we're trying to do with the towns is positive. The only problem is from a DEP enforcement position, it's hard for them to do. So the more we can put onto the town's rules and qualifications for trees and things like that, the better off we are. So.
Well,
Wait a minute. I don't understand that.
yeah, I don't.
Because the towns, they don't have any,
You have to read. You have to read.
All right, I'll have to read the letter because, typically anything that is under the purview of DEP, the towns say this is not something that we deal with and they push it off to DEP.
Yeah, if
So
you need a
DEP
permit for
is-
something, they have to get the DEP permit. That's of course, right? If you're going for a variance or something like that, but if somebody's cutting down some trees, that's a different story. It's
Did
not.
she answer
not
our
on the priorities.
question? Don, did she answer the question that we asked her about the boundary line?
Yeah, she did. She
Okay.
basically said it is what it is. She is not the expert on it. It's the other gentleman that was in the email. So that is the demarcation line for the DEP is the railroad tracks. That's how it stands.
But that's
That's all the better. That's all the better.
I think you guys got to read it before we talk about it.
all right. We'll talk.
We
about
did get
it.
a response, though, which is great.
All right, let's plan to talk about that. The three of us.
But, Peter, that's significant then because that means that anything that is west of the railroad bridge is not under coastal.
Right.
It would be under land use.
That's how they look at it.
But what did you? I'm not sure I understood what you said, Don. About you mean Chris, the other guy that was.
Chris is right. That's correct.
So
It's his purview.
So he's going to answer that question, and
I don't know that answer. I don't know that answer.
Okay, so we still don't have.
He hasn't answered. Only Tammy has answered. She's the enforcement person.
Okay, so we still don't have an answer to that question then.
Well,
Right.
she gave us the answer. She said it's the railroad tracks.
Okay.
Anyway,
That's
we'll
good.
move on. But you have to read it. I'll send it out to you.
Yeah, thank you.
Weed treatment. It was completed. I didn't see any ill effects from this particular treatment. We did get some comments about last year's treatment, about the lily pads, and I know Steve has a little different opinion than I, but I believe the treatment did damage some of the smaller lily pads. It's different. They're not the big green ones. I'm not sure the exact name, but the large green ones survived, no problem. It was the more delicate looking ones with little color in them that didn't survive. They survived around the Sunset Bridge. But when you got close to Linda's house, Linda Beauchamp had some nice lily pads right in front of her house. They have not come back this year. So,
But they're not. It's not full season for them to be back. I mean, we don't see lily pads for a few more weeks yet.
okay, that's good news. I mean, we'll see. Keep your fingers crossed.
Am I right, Steve, about
Yeah,
that?
it's still pretty early. And,
Yeah, they're out. The ones I see, I went around the lake today, and I saw a ton of lily pads, and I didn't see any in front of Linda's house. So. And from that point back, there's very little lily, other than the large green ones. The other type are gone. They're not there.
I see them, but they're
Yeah,
not.
There are lily pads, but not in the areas that we had them before.
Except it's early, so we can't judge.
Let's keep our fingers crossed. We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Coke plant update, Pete. Any dates we have to?
July, scheduled for a July hearing.
Is that? Do we know the date? The 28th or something?
Left, then take the next right.
Yeah,
I
whatever.
have it down for the 28th, right?
Oh, that's what it is.
Okay.
It's the fourth
Turn
Wednesday.
left, then take the next right.
Okay,
Hi, Eric.
I got him muted. I muted his car.
Nice.
Okay.
July 28th.
Okay, got it.
So should we like convene before that? I know Peter, like it's
I'm
sort of a
convening.
conflict.
I'm
Right.
convening on a daily basis.
Yeah. I mean,
Well,
for the 28th, should I be ready to provide testimony or do
Well,
you
I don't
think
know.
they're going to get to environmental?
If you're going to provide testimony, I believe Hunt may have to be there with you.
Yeah,
Not
so I
sure.
mean, we'd have to think about the agenda and are they even going, because it would be, I mean, if I'm going to be there,
I'm going to say no. They have so many issues that they
yeah,
have to address. They're not going to, they'd be lucky if they get to traffic on the July meeting.
yeah.
They're not
I
going to
got
get
you.
to it.
I got you. Okay, well,
They may testify to it, but they're not going to get to, questioning and cross-examination.
Right.
Well,
Just my
right.
opinion.
it's not going to be they're not going to be giving any thumbs up or thumbs down on the project at that meeting, correct?
Well, when would be the right time for a testimony?
Jeannie, we don't know, okay? And I'm not going to comment anymore on it.
Yeah.
I'm the planning board engineer.
Well, we could show, you could
That's
show
the
up to the
extent
meeting
of
as
my
a citizen. You could show up to the meeting as a
Right.
citizen, not representing the DLA commission, and take notes. So
Yeah.
I plan to be going to that meeting and listening. I'm a taxpayer in Neptune, so I have every right to be there. So we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, and the only reason I'm asking so I can set my schedule accordingly. But I doubt that I was of the same opinion that I doubt they're going to get to anything environmental that would involve cross-examination or whatever. And plus, I think on top of that, we may have to redo that report done if they've made any significant changes to the plans.
Okay. Let's talk. We'll talk offline on that one. Okay, let me keep moving. Goose remediation. I sent you guys. I sent an email to you guys on the geese, and we have 3 towns that signed Ocean, Asbury, and Allenhurst have signed up for the goose treatment. And let me see my motion here. And the motion I have on the table is allocate $2,500 from lake maintenance funds and contract out to Goose Stoppers of New Jersey to treat areas around the lake that have been approved by the municipality. These locations are specified with the attached proposal, with one exception is noted. That's Asbury Park Area 2 and 3. That's the boat ramp, and Ocean, the flume to Norwood Avenue. Ocean Area 4, which is basically the Colonial Terrace area, and possibly more locations TBD. Because Goose Stoppers haven't seen that areas, but we're planning to do Fireman's Pond and also Lollipop Pond area. Allenhurst west of the footbridge to the lake, not in the playground. That's specified by the town. If any additional towns would like treatments, are more welcome to join in. When they join in, we'll specify that area. Application cost is $125 per acre, which will last a long time with the 2,500. And Goose Stoppers will determine the proper start time of the treatments. And that's the motion.
Someone please offer.
I move that we pass that proposal.
Hold on one second. Just for Allenhurst, it's west of the bike path, not west of the footbridge.
West of the bike. You're correct. West of the bike path. Thank you very much.
I didn't want to.
Not east. Right.
Someone second.
Second.
Oh, second. Allenhurst.
Allenhurst,
Yes.
Asbury Park,
Yes.
Interlaken,
Yes.
Lock Harbor.
That's
Yes. Neptune,
Give me a thumb down,
Yes.
or thumb down, or thumb up.
Ocean.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
One
Park remediation. Next month, for Steve, I'm going to do a proposal for cart remediation in Colonial Terrace area next meeting. Can you give me some details on the permit process on that? So
The permit process is pretty simple. I mean, it's, we just have to file a permit with Fish and Wildlife, and
Okay.
And that's pretty much it. But so I mean, what do you have in mind?
Basically, we're gonna try the same procedure you did over in Long Island, and we're doing a small area over Colonial Terrace by the golf course.
Okay,
Just to demo it, just to see how we can do it.
just a demo. All right. So I mean, do you want me to put together like a draft RFP then?
No, I don't. I think we'll do it ourselves. We're gonna get volunteers to do it.
Okay. So I guess the next question is, how about the nets? Because that's
We'll propose to buy the nets. I'll put that in a proposal for the next meeting. It's going to be a small demo project. It's not going to be big. If we did something big in the lake, we'd have to contract it out. That's for sure.
all right. I'll talk to you more about it because those
Yeah.
nets are really specialized.
Okay.
Could we, sorry, just back up once to the goose number 8. I know we were talking about having the Nicole Rain, the Department of Agriculture person who did the goose management,
Right.
has offered, I had asked her months ago about doing a workshop for the public and for the DLC on the reasons for goose management and the various methods that are
Sure.
possible. She's offered to do a workshop for us
Fucking going or what?
at our September meeting. And so do we need to I'd like to advertise that in advance so people can attend, the public can attend, whether it's virtual or live.
I think we can do that. I don't think we need a vote on that, do we? No.
Do we?
Yeah, the answer is yes. Let's do it.
Okay, I'll let her know.
But as I mentioned in my email to you, Jeannie, we're going to get together privately with the other commissions and have a game plan before she comes. We'll know, because I really want the other commissions to start using, I want Asbury Park to start using her. So
Right.
we're going to have to sit down on that one.
It's a holistic, she's going to present the whole education plan, not just Adeling, but all of the kinds
Sure.
of goose
Okay.
management techniques and the reason for doing it. And it will be helpful for the public to know, especially when we're trying to talk to the public about that in the future, if there's been some education.
And if she doesn't mind, being videotaped, it'd be great to put on our websites and our, Facebook and all that. So
Okay, I'll talk to her.
ask her if we can do that. That's
Sure, I'll ask her. So we'll plan that September meeting, 6:00.
that's
Right.
fine.
Okay.
Yep. Okay. Thanks, Gene. Nothing on ship and stuff. No update on Seaview. The restoration of lakes is interesting. I've been various different phone calls on that with Colonial Terrace folks, and it's bad back there in those sections. And I had calls on emails on Lollipop Pond. I've had calls on Fireman's Pond, and I'll be honest with you, I'm waiting for the new town manager to get in place, get them settled. So I'm not going to start beating them up about dredging lakes until at least end of August. But we're gonna start a conversation about it, because he's going to be the key, because it's Ocean Township property. So. Water testing, I have no update from Monmouth University. Ginny, you have anything?
No, they were here and they gave us their most recent updates or data presentation, which.
Somebody asked interesting question about the wetlands, is how we're going to see if they're really working. And I actually said, we'll be going to use Monmouth University CloudNet folks, because they're testing in all those lakes. So we should have somewhat of a better sense for what's happening, right?
Yeah, I don't know about that.
A Clarity Award, it would be a biggie, right?
I mean, if
They're parking for this event tonight, or
It's parking, but no more in the
back. It's all in the front.
Mary on the left there?
wait a minute, Eric is, okay. It's typically done by model, okay? You have to model it. So and there's just so much variability done with doing water testing for devices that small to be able to, develop data that's meaningful. So it's typically done by modeling.
Okay. We'll see what happens. You see, if the plants are starting to grow 10 foot tall and there's clean water, we know we got something good going on, right?
Yeah. I mean, if that's the case, right. I mean, if they can develop some data, but I mean, it's typically about 12 pounds of phosphorus that's removed per year per island.
Okay.
Which doesn't sound like a lot, but 1 pound of phosphorus is 1,000 pounds of algae. So,
right.
So it's a pretty big positive impact.
Wow. That's impressive.
The only thing I want to add with water quality monitoring, again, this is Jesse, goes back to the lake appreciation stuff. So NOMS also has a SECI dip in that they do every July. And so if the CloudNet people do have some SECI clarity data, that can be forwarded to NOMS and they'll include it in their nationwide database. And again, it'll be a nice way for the commission to get a nod. So it's easy enough if they've collecting that data. All they have to do, I can provide them with the link.
Got it.
And all they have to do is just submit it.
Got it. Thank you.
Nothing else.
We're gonna move on,
Don?
guys. We're gonna move on. Yeah.
Hey, Don?
Yes,
Can
sir.
I just jump in here real quick?
Sure.
I got to go to another meeting.
Okay, Eric.
I just wanted to say congratulate you and Marty and for your perseverance on that bill, and we were glad we were able to have access to that bill as well. And
Eric,
so I think it went through appropriations yesterday.
It did, and I wanted to pat you. We're going to be talking. We're in new business right now, by the way. So we'll switch right up to the lake bill. So Eric's team, Tom Little, is it Tom Little? did a spectacular
Yes.
job rewriting the bill. And with the help of our friend Marty Kane up in Lake Apacon and myself and Eric, we got it through and they voted on it unanimously. So now it's going to the assembly and it looks pretty good, they're telling me, right?
Well, I think the unique thing about the bill is the fact that it's not my bill, but we wrote it. And
Right.
that doesn't happen very often. So we
I
were
don't know how
glad
you
we were
did
able to
that.
do that. And we also were able to include in the wording two lakes drastically different. The two lakes in our 11th district, Deal Lake and Lake Tappanemus and Freehold, that need a lot of work as well. So, but I just
Okay.
wanted to point out that you and Marty were very persevered a lot on that. And, you know, we're glad as a team, which I think is the way to get things done, that we were all able to accomplish and get to the goal where we wanted.
No, it was a wonderful effort. You'll be seeing the bill soon. I don't have the final copy yet.
Yeah.
But when I do, I'll send it to everybody. And when's the vote on that in the assembly? Do we know?
Well, I don't know. We go back Monday, we vote Monday, and I think we're going to vote again Thursday. So it could possibly be next Thursday.
Wow. Okay. That's excellent.
Yep.
There's hope.
So-
Yes, Eric, there is hope.
Yeah.
That's good.
All
That's
right.
good. That was really good, Eric.
Thank you,
Thanks,
Eric.
Eric. Thanks, everybody. I got to run, but
All right.
that's
Take
why
care,
I
buddy.
stay on. That's why I stay on this committee. By just so you know.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks,
Good job.
Eric.
Good
All
job.
right. Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.
Jesse, resolution on the
Did
audit
everybody
report,
get
please?
to review the audit
Yes.
that I sent out? Did everyone get to review it? So
Yeah.
tonight we have the resolution accepting that you guys read at the minimum the comments and recommendations from the 2020 audit. So would someone please offer? Did everyone get to read it or?
Offered.
Okay, second,
Second.
Alan Hurst,
Yes.
Asbury Park,
Yes.
Interlaken?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Lock Arbor? Melanie?
Yes, yes, yes.
Ocean?
Yes.
The other resolution I have tonight, last year we were a little late in doing recognizing July as Lake Appreciation Month and doing a proclamation and sending it up to NOMS. So I thought we'd get ahead of this and introduce it now and do a nice proclamation and send it up to them. So someone please offer.
I offer.
Second,
I second.
Allenhurst,
Yes.
Asbury Park,
Yes.
Interlaken,
Yes.
Walk Arbor, Ocean.
Yes.
Okay, Don.
Okay. I think we did the lakes, letters and emails. I think I talked about all the letters that we had gotten already. There was the lady on Wikipedia from Interlaken, and Carol and I shared with Carol. They cleaned up a lot of the dead trees and on their side of the lake, and now we're dealing with Ocean trying to clean up the other side of the lake. So it's actually a stream going from Fireman's Pond to the lake, and it looks a lot better. She did a great job.
Hey, Don, I just wanted one other
Sure.
thing on new business. So I know you were you were busy and a lot of people were busy doing the floating wetland islands yesterday, but I did a webinar with DEP in Rutgers yesterday. There were about 175 people on the webinar, and it pertained to harmful algae blooms and the link to climate change. The significance is that I do have all of the PowerPoints that were presented during the webinar. I just got to wait for DP's okay to release those, which I don't see this. They said they were going to release them anyhow. But there, the last speaker of the day dealt with funding and funding opportunities. Brought up Eric's bill as well as other funding opportunities that are out there. Specifically, the low interest loans that nobody really tries to make use of, but they're really pushing it because right now they're sitting on about $12 million, but it is a loan. It's not, these are not, they're not grants, but 50% of it's a grant. So if you've got $2 million, 50% of it would be what they call principal forgiveness. So that wouldn't have to be paid back, and the remaining million would be paid back with only 50% of that with any interest on it over a 20-year period. So it's something that, if funding continues to get tight, it's an opportunity to work with the towns. And a lot of, Peter can attest to this, a lot of the towns have dipped into this pot of money for wastewater and stormwater projects. But, they're really pushing it for HAB-related projects as well.
Okay, thanks. Maybe we use that for some of the dredging projects on the back lakes, maybe.
It's possible. It's possible, because they're even making it available for purchase of equipment. So that might be something that we'd have to meet with DEP or, to feel them out on that, but that is possible.
Okay, thanks, Steve.
We shouldn't let that opportunity go. Seems to me, we've been talking about dredging forever, and there's millions of dollars available. This is something we really should talk about. And
Steve, can you put something in writing so we can put it on the agenda for next month?
Yeah, I can easily do that. And just so you know, Bruce, this is a revolving fund, so it's available every year. And so, it's not like this is a one-shot deal. But yeah, we should try to get our ducks in a row and see if we can maybe use some of that money for dredging.
That would be great.
That's good. It gets everybody excited to see dredging.
Yes. Right.
Okay. Commissioners report. So we'll start with Jeannie. You got a minute, Jeannie.
Well, just real quick, I wanted to update you on the progress being made at the Asbury Park Oxonia Bridge. I got another update from Dennis Walsh, the principal engineer with Monmouth County Department of Public Works. He said that the maintenance crew did it, well, as we all know, they did a pretty significant cleanup. But then right after that, they had sent out a survey crew. They performed a survey, which included checking the roadway drainage system to see how the inlets are connected. And he's going to check on the status of the drawings that are being prepared for that survey information. Okay. And then the next step is to review the survey, develop the corrective measures for the location, and depending on the extent of the measures, they may be able to have it done by in-house forces, or it could be done as a contract work, either by one of our call contractors or put out to bid as an independent job. So that's where they are right now. It's the survey.
And better, Jeannie, how are you feeling, by the way? How you doing?
I'm better. I'm better all the time, every day. Thank you.
Okay, we're thinking about you.
Thanks.
Carol?
Don and I are in the process right now of scheduling a presentation to the mayor and council at one of their monthly meetings in the next 2 months to just kind of discuss what we do and, how the towns benefit from what we do and, how we can all work better together. And then I had a couple really awesome wildlife encounters this week that Don knows about and Jeannie knows about one of them. But the first one was we have a lot of turtles on Windermere, which is where I live. And so every year at this time of year, we get some really big turtles, like small coffee table size ones that come out of the lake to lay eggs. And so we had one exactly a year ago, really. And then we had one 2 weeks ago. So last year Don was there. We ended up calling animal control. We watched what they did and how they were able to, humanely and safely get the turtle into something that they could relocate it in. And we did the same thing when it was sitting in the middle of Windermere. And there was a couple of people, residents from Ocean Township, who happened to be walking by, who were very involved in it also. I didn't happen to catch their names, but they were awesome. And we took the turtle and we were able to take it back down to the lake shore and watched it swim away happily. And then last week I was sitting on my front porch and I saw something a little out of the ordinary entering the water from the Asbury side right over by the stadium. And I got my camera out and took some video, and it was deer that swam across the lake and came out on the interlake side and was running around the Borough Hall property, probably trying to get back over to the tennis courts. So it's amazing.
Wow.
And it's still living. It swam in a lake and it's still living. Just want to note that.
Deer are really competent swimmers. I know that. I wasn't alarmed. I wasn't going to call the police on. I did call the police to try and help guide it kind of safely back over to the park on the other side of town, just to cross Grassmere because it was rush hour. But
wow.
Interesting stuff. Keep your eyes open.
Melanie?
Oh. You're muted, Melanie.
I'm still muted? Am I okay?
You're good.
We hear you.
The only comment is something I talked to Don about the other day. that it seems people in Lock Arbor have been putting in docks outside of their houses, which actually I believe you have to have a permit from the DEP for. So I don't really care in a sense if somebody's got canoes or rowboats or kayaks or paddle boards, but I am afraid it's going to turn into a lot of jet skis. And Margot and I have talked about this. So I don't know, the opinion of the other people. Don mentioned that there's a speed limit on jet skis, but it's only west of the railroad tracks. So I don't know how we would go about either banning them on this side or does anybody have any opinions on this?
They have not been good citizens, let's put it that way.
Somebody was in a motorboat, which is fine with me if you're just in a motorboat cruising along, but somebody was doing like wheelies in the middle of the lake today and just tear us and back and forth from the bridge here on Norwood.
What color boat was it?
What color was the boat? It was white and it had a blue awning, canopy over it.
It wasn't me.
It wasn't you. No, I
was out today, actually.
I made sure it wasn't you, Don. It was, I would have called the cops in if it was you, but it was a guy and he had a flag hanging off the back and a blue top and a small white boat, but he was just way too fast. I mean, going from this Norwood Bridge up to.
There's no, as I mentioned to you, there's no speed limits on that intersection. It's full and open. So.
Is there any way to get one?
I'm not looking for it. I don't want it. I'll be honest with you. I'm okay with that. I am not a big fan of jet skis, so that's another subject. But from a boat standpoint, you won't get me supporting it.
I don't want to ban the boats. I just don't want to see them like fly.
I like the speed. That's the only place. I'm sorry. People like the water ski. Believe it or not, people like the water ski. And I have seen water skiers the last couple of years at.
I have too.
There is creating a wake. I mean, plenty of places have those regulations that you kind of create a wake, and there's reason for that to protect.
Not in that open area. That's why we kept it open. It's the only lake in the shore area that has no limit on speed in that area. So I'm not about to even discuss that, and it's really not for us to discuss. So that's a Marine Police. If you want to talk to New Jersey Marine Police, you can go talk to them.
What about the jet skis?
Another subject. I mean, you got to talk to the deal police. That's your police people. So that's the first one you call is the police. If there's a problem with a boat, you call the police.
And how about the docks?
The town should be calling the DEP, or you go with a hotline. There's a DEP, warn DEP, and you file a complaint.
You can complain to the DEP.
Yep.
Why don't you just complain about the docks where the boats are going too fast or the jet skis are going too fast? That'll get rid of them.
Yeah, but it's really a DEP enforcement issue on the docks, and it's the Marine Police on the other, the speed issue. So, okay, I don't think we're to solve this problem today, Melanie, but that's the key people. You can go right on the Deal Lake website and get the number for a DEP, or you can go online and actually submit. You can do it anonymously. You don't have to put your name on it.
Right.
So, okay, let me roll on. Who am I missing here? Bruce.
Yeah, I don't have much to say except to say that the wildlife on the lake is alive and well. I mean, my backyard is the lake, and I have been seeing the eagles out. I've been seeing the osprey, herons, and I have not seen so many of these bass hitting the water this year as in all the prior years. They're just coming out one right after another in the morning hours, and it's nice to see that the wildlife is flourishing.
Okay, yeah, it has. I took a boat ride around today, and I didn't see many issues. I saw a tremendous amount of osprey by your house, Bruce. I saw about 6 osprey in your neighbor's trees across the street. They were flying out into the lake. It was amazing.
Yeah, and they just hit those fish, and then they're up in the trees, and they eat them up in the trees. Of course, the small birds come at them, and then they fly away. And it's a big conflict, but it's Mother Nature, and it's good to see.
Okay, can we have a motion to open up the public?
Motion to open the meeting to the public?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Okay. Anyone from the public?
Yeah. 350, you got your 3 minutes or less. Go ahead, 350.
Unmute him then. Okay.
Yeah, Ernest McNolly, 710 Northeast 7th Street, Boynton Beach, Florida. I'm a former resident of Santander Building in Asbury for 15 years. And I'm looking for, my permanent resident is now Florida, but I'm looking for 2-3 months a year up in the Asbury Long Branch area. So I'm always concerned about the lakes from Tallahassee, where I grew up, to Asbury, the 3 lakes, and I have major concerns. So I went to the Wesley Club meeting the other night, and finally they're willing to get better testing than Monmouth University is doing. I mean, really, oxygen and water collect. What we need in these lakes is you need to test for hard pollution chemicals, runoff from the road, construction debris that's going into the streets and going into the inlets. And then it builds up in the mud. So you get down there, you get asbestos and lead and construction dust and styrofoam and you know, stuff that lasts for centuries. And that all needs to be tested because you need to be able to show people that this water is safe to get on your skin. You know, to let little kids go on a paddle boat and put their hands in the water. What's the quality of the water? And, you know, I don't see the importance of the fact that there's birds flying around and geese. What's important with a lake and a park is that it's clean. It's clean enough that you can eat the fish, you can get it on your skin if you want, right? And you have test results to prove that to you. Now, one of the big problems with from Asbury all the way north to Deal, Lock Harbor, and where all the inlets are on the street is no one's testing the inlet. All this high density pollution and infrastructure problems, and now they're improving these pools and stuff that are going to dump water into the street, and they're disturbing the water tables and everything, and everything keeps getting approved. And then what I find interesting is we can't get the tests from the 3 lakes, the significant ones that should be posted. It should be posted, and it should have a full profile of all chemicals, both pollution, etc. It is not that important, the big stuff that you think is polluting the lake. Beer cans, that's one thing. That's bulk. But what pollutes the lake is chemicals. Chemicals from the cars, from the exhaust. Chemicals where buildings and boats are dumping things. I mean, you can see people in the lake and right off the ocean dumping stuff, garbage. They flip the lid open on their boat and let the toilet drain out.
Ernie, thank you for your comments. Thank you for your comments. And we're going to answer. Steve, you want to talk to that a little bit on the testing?
Unmute him.
Okay. I mean, I think it's relevant in terms of potential for some of these contaminants to be present in sediment. Anytime that we, do a dredging project or we're going to disturb sediment, that type of testing is done. Deal is not a swimming lake, so there's no requirements for the water quality testing. And I understand that, the concern and the severity, but,
we do have test data, by the way, on the soil sediments of the dredging. We do have that.
Well, yeah, I mean, and that's done. And so, when something like that is done, legally, we're required to do that, and we do that type of testing. But, I'm not going to say the comments on relevant, but.
Well, we could ask the DEP to do some sampling tests. Why not? We could do that.
Yeah, we could make that a request to them, but it's still not going to change, the use status of the lake. The lake is not listed as a swimming lake.
Well, hey, we can here. We'll send a little letter to the DEP and ask them to do some testing. It's their.
Don, the other interesting point Ernie raised is really accumulation and dissemination of data. It's something that's never been done. We talked about it 20 years ago, 15 years ago, 10 years ago. You keep talking about it and nobody does it. There's no coordinated effort. We're kind of leaning on Monmouth University to try to do that. But of all the lakes I've dredged, and I've probably done, 20 major dredging projects, and I've tested sediment every single time for the types of material Ernie's talking about, we've never published it anywhere other than with the permit application.
Right.
So that is something that could be looked into if we want to create a database.
Something good. That was a good thing. Anybody else? Anybody else from the public?
Thanks.
Anybody else from the public? Okay, so can
Who
we
would,
close?
Peter, who would do, or Steve, who would do that testing? Is it just the NJDEP?
No, we do it.
Hey, guys.
We do it.
Hey,
Yeah.
guys, I have to leave, so
Okay.
I'm passing the baton to Carol to close the meeting. I have
Hasta la
another meeting.
vista. Have a
So,
good time. You
it
look
was a great
on-
time.
You look great and you sounded
I
intelligent on
do.
News 4.
I got an award ceremony going on, so.
You look great.
I'll see you all later, okay?
Okay.
Bye, Don.
Take care.
But Jeannie, to answer your question, Stephen can too. We're responsible. If he does a dredging project, if I do a dredging project, if we share services, we're responsible for securing the test data and results, providing it to DEPs to secure a permit.
When you're doing dredging, but what about just, if you're not doing dredging, just water testing as he's talking about? Who does that?
The types of contaminants that were being referred to really aren't so much in the water as in the sediment. Steve can probably talk to that a little better.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing I'll add is that right now there is a, HAB expert panel that I'm on, and one of the charges that DEP has given that panel, and that is being, headed up in part by Jason Adolph, but is to take all of the data that DEP has, and it's an immense amount of data, and then try to parse that all out so that there is some type of uniform database that people could go to. Now, I can say that the majority of the data is going to be, phosphorus, nitrogen, oxygen, the things that Ernie perhaps, didn't feel was that important. But there is at least some measure being put into place right now, an attempt to make sense of all of that data. And that's happening right now with this panel that was put together by DEP. So that's a big thing that is happening right now. And like I said, Monmouth is leading the charge on that. And Montclair is also playing a big role in the analysis of all of that data. When that's all going to come out, I can't tell you. I don't know. I mean, we just started, this process only began about like 3 months ago.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, sort of, Melanie.
Okay. Wasn't Clean Ocean Action coming around doing some sampling a while back?
Yeah, and that's the problem. I mean, there's a whole bunch of sampling that's being done, but it's not going to any central repository. So, trying to find out, what the status is on things. I mean, you can look at the Deal Lake website. We have data on there that goes back to like 2000, and maybe even earlier than that. But it's rare to find data compiled in one particular place that people can, go back to and refer to. But yeah, there's no, as Peter mentioned, there's no central repository. So if you pull a permit to do dredging, or you pull a permit to put in an outfall, and you have to do testing or whatever, that resides with the DEP and it never goes anyplace else.
But the point is, the gentleman makes a good point, and why don't we just write a letter to DEP and ask them if they'll do the testing and see what the response is, and then we can go from there.
What are we going to ask them to test? What would we be asking them?
We could ask them to do a priority pollutant.
We don't have to talk about it now. We'll put something together. Steve.
Yeah, we can
That
put something
sounds-
together.
Back to the commission.
Put something together next time, we can talk about it.
Yeah, we'll do that.
You.
Thanks.
Great idea. Thank you.
Great. Thank you.
Ken, are there any other members of the public? Ken?
No.
Okay. Motion to close the meeting?
Motion to close. I move to close the meeting.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye,
Aye.
A motion to adjourn the meeting?
been done.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Have a nice 4th of July.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Take care.
See ya.